Terrific. If you could grab her for us, that would be that'd be terrific. We can find out the tenor. Let's listen.
Here, I've just concluded an hour and 15-minute session with Ambassador Rice. I still have many questions that remain unanswered. I continue to be troubled by the fact that the UN ambassador decided to play what was essentially a political role at the height of a contentious presidential election campaign by agreeing to go on the Sunday shows to present the administration's position. In addition, it is interesting to me that Ambassador Rice emphasized in her presentation not that this was a terrorist attack by Al-Qaeda affiliates, but rather that it had begun with a protest that we now know was non-existent, and that it was linked to a video, which we also know is not accurate. At the time that Ambassador Rice made these assertions, there was conflicting evidence. It is true. But we had the president of Libya saying that 50 people had been arrested, that terrorists from other countries had come to Libya, and that the attack was premeditated and planned. I asked Ambassador Rice why she did not qualify her comments more in light of this contradictory reporting from the president of the country. Her answer was that she relied on our intelligence analysis. I don't understand why she would not have at least qualified her response to that question. I'm also very troubled by the fact that we seem not to have learned from the 1998 bombings of two of our embassies in Africa at the time when Ambassador Rice was the Assistant Secretary for African Affairs. Those bombings in 1998 resulted in the loss of life of 12 Americans, as well as many other foreign nationals, and 4,000 people were injured. And what troubles me so much is the Benghazi attack in many ways echoes the attacks on those embassies in 1998 when Susan Rice was head of the African region for our State Department. In both cases, the ambassador begged for additional security. The ambassador to Kenya sent repeated messages to the State Department requesting a stronger facility because of the increased threat. And those requests, as in the case of Benghazi, were turned down by the State Department. I asked Ambassador Rice what her role was. She said that she would have to refresh her memory, but that she was not involved directly in turning down the requests. But surely, given her position as Assistant Secretary for African Affairs, she had to be aware of the general threat assessment and of the ambassador's repeated requests for more security. Ambassador Rice said near the beginning of our session that she felt the real issue here was the protection of our people and our facilities. And I agree. And that's why her actions and whether or not lessons were learned from the 1998 attacks on our embassies in Africa are important questions, and I have asked for additional information there. Another eerie echo is that This administration has pointed out repeatedly that there was not a specific warning of a specific attack on Benghazi. Instead, there was just an increased level of the threat in the region. Once again, in 1998, when you read the Accountability Review Board report, they say that Washington and headquarters underestimated the threat to our people in Africa. So these are issues that I believe deserve further investigation and remain troubling to me.
Senator, at this point in time, if President Obama were to nominate Susan Rice to be the next Secretary of State, could you support that nomination?
I would need to have additional information before I could support her nomination. She's not been posted yet. Our Homeland Security Committee investigation is ongoing. There are many different players in this, and there's much yet to be learned. So I think it would be premature for me to reach that judgment now.
Your chairman came out, Joe Lieberman.